I'm so sorry, but there's nothing we can do, I'm afraid. We tried almost everything in our medical field to help you get pregnant. It just seems that your body doesn't want to support a child. Our doctor's news fell on me and my wife like a sack of bricks. This is our third time trying. My wife is sobbing. I wrap my arm around her shoulders, trying my hardest to comfort her. I can barely keep it together myself. Why us? I keep asking myself that question every single day. Why do we have to struggle, pray and hope while others pop babies out like a goddamn factory? We go to church every Sunday. We pray our hardest that we would be blessed with a child. So far, God has not been keeping up with his promises. I felt anger towards this whole situation. What did we do to deserve this? The car ride back home was quiet and full of emotional pain. Not even the radio was playing. It just didn't feel right to fill the empty air with music. I pull into the driveway. My wife hasn't said a word about this. Isn't talking the best way to cope with this situation? Well, I guess after dealing with this 3 times over, it just doesn't feel the same. She gets out of the car and walks briskly to the house. Times like these, you need a moment alone to just simply let all the raw emotion out. Knowing you'll never have a child. Knowing you'll never be one of those parents always showing up baby pictures to your friends. It's just not fair. Tomorrow we are going to church, but honestly, God is the last thing I want to think about right now. The pain of never having a child is almost close to losing one. You'll never get over it. Every time you see a child running down the park, it will remind you, without fail, that you will never get to experience the joys of parenthood. I know what some of you are thinking. I dodged the bullet of sleepless nights and stinky diapers. It's not that. It's the moments when they speak those very first words, or they take their first steps. That is what I'm going to miss. I've been bawling my eyes out for 15 minutes now, punching the steering wheel as if it was responsible for our infertility. I need some air. Just to clear my mind, I get out of my car, letting the cold autumn air hit my face. My brain must have been overheating from all that crying. I look at my dark house. I can't hear a thing. She must be asleep. Good. Rest is what she needs right now. I walk past my car down my suburban street. My neighbours are all fast asleep while I'm dealing with this typhoon of sadness and tears. I don't know where I'm going. I just keep walking. I end up at the edge of the woods. I always loved these woodlands. It helps clear my mind, and God knows I need it now more than ever. I walk into the maze of trees and foliage, sunbeams peeking through under the night sky. I look around taking in the sights, but I can't help but have the overwhelming feeling of hopelessness and fear. This never happened before. Day or night the woods were always calming, but this was something I've never felt before. Remember the time when you first got into the car with your driving instructor to get your license? Times that by 10, and you roughly get how I feel. Ending up at a clearing, I sit in the grass and look at my watch. 10 p.m. What a day. I look up at the night sky, remembering what our doctor said. Tears began to well up in my eyes. I keep thinking I'll wake up any minute now from the nightmare. Rough day, friend? I jump up, turning around seeing a man wearing an all-black suit with a red tie hanging from his neck. He was sharply dressed. It looked like he just came back from the most exclusive dinner party, rubbing elbows with the kings and queens of entertainment. He had a face made for the movies. Strong jawline and narrow nose. His eyes were an unusual colour. They were gold. No, more of an amber colour. He had a confident smile. What did you say? I said hesitantly. It dawned on me. I didn't hear the young man walk up. I said rough day. His smooth voice was so relaxing. It was like velvet in my ears. You look like someone told you that your kid died. I looked down, the colour draining from my face. I grit my teeth trying to hold back the tears. Something like that. My wife and I are infertile. Our doctor said there was no chance we could have a child. I don't understand. We are good people. We don't ask for much, but yet can't have a child. We even go to church praying that each procedure would work. He scoffs at the idea. Listen, God is nothing but just some fairy tale that people just take a little bit too seriously. I could help you, friend. But you really, really gotta want it. No half-assed desires, but truly wanting it more than anything in the world. I raised an eyebrow. How could this one man, who I had never even met before, change me and my wife's situation? I sense you have some doubt, but don't worry, I'm no snake oil salesman. I'm just here to help a fellow human out. He smiles a confident smile again. I don't know why, but I feel like I could trust this individual. It was like having an old friend coming back into your life, just in time to help fix your problems. I really do want a child, so much. I want my wife to be happy, and a mother, and I'd do almost anything. So, if you really want to help me out, how would you? No offense, but I'm not letting you sleep with my wife. I say. He shakes his head and laughs at the idea. No friend. All you have to do is let me take one thing from your life. It could be your car, it could be $5 from your pocket, but one thing is all I need. I look at him skeptic. What kind of deal was that? He was going to give me a child, and all I have to do is let him have one thing from my life. What did I have to lose? Either this guy was a convincing liar, or he was the real deal. He pulls out a vial of black liquid. It looked like squid ink. No, even darker, like reality was cut, and behind it was this blackness. Take this vial and put a couple of drops in your wife's food every day for a month, and I guarantee you, friend, you have a bouncing baby. Keep you and your neighbours up before you know it. I reach out for the vial and he pulls back. Do we have a deal? We must shake on it. What could I do? There's a possibility I could have a child. Right there, in this stranger's hand, only mere inches away. He holds his hand out, waiting for me to complete the deal. A moment passes by and I grasp it. His eyes widen, as if he was surprised that I take it. I'd do anything to have a family. That's what happens when you push a man to desperation. He ends up in the middle of the woods, talking to some stranger making a deal. He places the vial in my hand and walks towards the woods. I look at the thick substance. Was this my last chance? My only hope to have my wife bear a child? What have I got to lose? It's early morning. I decide to make my wife some breakfast. She loves my French toast and my bacon egg sandwiches. I recall the deal from last night. Was all that real? It couldn't have been. I reached into my pocket, pulling out the vial. Yep, it was. Now, he said, every day only a couple drops. I decided to put it on my wife's French toast. I smeared enough butter on until I was sure the inky goo was gone completely. Well, let's see if this works. I place the sandwiches and toast on the plate, pour out some orange juice and headed to our room. I lay the plate on the nightstand. My beautiful wife shuffles around a little. I can tell that she smells the food. She greets me with a warm smile and starts eating the buttery sweet French toast and the savoury sandwiches. Then something happened that I haven't seen her do in a while. She was getting aroused. She looked at me like I was a piece of meat. She pointed spilling the drink on the floor. I didn't care at this point. We were in each other's arms, caressing and taking in every inch of our bodies. It was exhilarating. This went on for the month straight. She was like a cat in heat. We had more sex in those mere 4 weeks than we had in 6 years. It was almost non-stop. One day I came home from work. My wife jumped onto me, screaming like a girl who just won tickets to see her favourite boy band. Then she showed it to me, a big blue plus sign right there in front of me. I could honestly say it was the happiest day of my life. Those 9 months were the best. Picking out cribs, seeing the baby grow each month. I was going to be a father. We got generic colours for the baby's room. We wanted to keep the gender a surprise. You know how they say a pregnant woman's skin glows? Well, my wife was absolutely radiant. Friends and family stocked us up with diapers for months. It was a happy time. I was walking in the woods again. My wife was mere weeks away from giving birth, and I couldn't be happier. You see, I told you I'd give you a child. That smooth voice, I'd recognise it anywhere. I turn around seeing the amber-coloured man standing behind me. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. You have no idea how much me and my wife appreciate this. He holds his hands up, wanting me to stop the gratitude. You remember our deal, correct? It's almost time. I nod. Of course. What do you want? Money? I can give you money. He shakes his head. I'll take what is mine soon. The deal was anything, so don't worry about me. He turns, starting to walk away. "Oh, and tell your wife congratulations on the child." "I will, thank you." I wait by and suddenly I feel a vibration in my pocket. I pull out my phone and it was the text I've been waiting for. Her water broke. What happened next was a blur. Here I am in the delivery room, only mere moments away from having a complete family. My wife was screaming in agony and pain, saying every swear word her mind could muster up. I was given hospital clothes and a mask to keep the delivery room sterile. I was taking no chances. I'm so close to having my baby born. I encouraged my wife to just keep pushing. Nurses were scrambling around, grabbing whatever equipment they needed to welcome my baby into this world. Minutes go by as I hear the screams and her begging for it to end, ringing in my ears. Lights begin to flicker as my wife's screams turn into howls. The nurses and doctor exchange looks of fear and confusing hearing this. I gotta admit, I'm a little unsettled by this too. Birthing class didn't tell us anything about this. Suddenly a splay of black goo spreads from my wife's vagina, covering the doctors in it. He begins to panic, then scream as if he was in pure agony. What the hell? What's going on? I turn to my wife. Eyes rolled back as she keeps shrieking. Her grip on my hand was so tight I had to pull away. The lead nurse moved the doctor out of the way as he is still screaming in horrible pain. She suddenly goes limp. Her head turns towards me slowly, eyes still at that unnatural position. Only asked me this one question. Why did you do this to me? I didn't have time to answer as my wife's stomach burst open, sending blackened guts and blood everywhere. The lights flickered erratically as I heard a shriek. The nurses were screaming as something was tearing them apart. I backed away to a corner, covering my ears, to block out the carnage in front of me. This isn't what I wanted. Oh God. A silence fell in the room. I unblocked my ears, hearing the coos of a baby in the darkness. The lights kept flickering. Flashes of 5 dead bodies littered the room, and in the middle of all this was a naked baby boy. I couldn't believe it. A baby, alive and in this mess. I pick up the baby, wiping the black mucus from the baby. I take a closer look, seeing his eyes were amber. This was impossible. Me and my wife's eyes were blue. Ah, there he is, born into this world. He looks so beautiful. Now hand him over to me. It was a stranger. He appeared in front of me. I back away slowly. What did you do? My wife is dead. Everyone is dead. Stay back. I yelled at him with anger and fear of not knowing what was going to happen next. He walks up closer. The feeling of hopelessness is coming back. Who was this man? Listen, I give you a son. In exchange, I could have anything I want. Well, I want him. I'll raise him well. You clearly don't think that you, a mere mortal, can raise this son of Satan. I stand there in shock. I couldn't believe it. He takes the child out of my hand, rubbing his cheek. Your wife made an excellent vessel for my offspring to feed off of. He's nice and strong. He must have had a great soul. I fall to my knees in a pile of blood and guts, still processing what had happened. Tell me, son. He kneels down to me. Was it worth it? Hey guys, if you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. You can also leave a comment below. All feedback, good or otherwise, is always appreciated. If you have any creepy stories of your own, or have any topics that you would like me to cover, feel free to send them in via any of my social media. You can find all links to my social media in the description below. Until next time guys, make sure you lock your doors, stay safe, and I'll see you next video.